Can I just get your recommendations for proper oral health care? What can people do to eliminate their, at least reduce their exposure to fluoride and still maintain proper oral health care?
Well, let me first point out the fact that fluoride does not reduce tooth decay. That is a myth. And that, yeah, if you brush your teeth really hard with it, you can show a little bit of a difference. But there are other things that work much, much better that never get a chance in the marketplace because we're stuck on this fluoride, basically myth. Iodine, much more effective. In my YouTube channel, that I have a video called Bad Bugs. And we talk about gum disease. People talk about tooth decay. Tooth decay is a disease of children because the malnourished children. Most people lose their teeth because of gum disease. And that's a chronic disease that you get when you're a child, and by the time you get to be 30, 40, 50 years old, your teeth get loose and start falling out, or being extracted, or you get your gums cut off and bone graft, and you spend lots of money. And basically it's an infection that you can hose away with a water pick and iodine and salt and soda or something in there and hose it away because they're swimmers. You can't brush them away. It's like trying to brush a fish away. If you took a brush and rubbed it around in the pond, is the fish going to leave? No, and looks at you like you're crazy. Well, the same thing's true of the bugs in your gums. They're swimmers. You can hose them away, and if you put something in the hose that they don't like iodine, you can hose them away and kill them while you're at it. And that's how you get to be oral health. I wrote a whole book on the subject. It's called How to Save Your Teeth with Toxic-Free Preventive Dentistry. And I've been making movies on it, a recipe for oral health. It's part of Bad Bugs. You can learn all this stuff just by Googling it and getting on my YouTube channel and watch it. Oral health is easy to create. It's just not treated right in this country. Dentists treat cavities with a drill. That's like using a knife to treat an infection. You got to keep cutting more and more off every time. Anybody's ever had one filling, had another one and another one and another one and another one, you say, well, if that solved the problem, how come we're doing this again and again and again and again? It doesn't solve the problem because tooth decay is caused by a bug called Streptococcus mutans. And if you really cared about children not having cavities, whenever they went to kindergarten or preschool, they'd have all the little kiddies spit in a tube and that incubate it, and if it turns purple, they've got Streptococcus mutans. When you do that, 1 out of 5 children will turn that tube purple. So then you take that kid, have the mother brush the teeth with iodine or one of the bug-killing agents, and then you have them spit in the tube again, and you look until that tube doesn't turn purple. You got rid of the bug that causes tooth decay. I had a guy in my practice, he never brushed his teeth. There was gum everywhere. And his teeth were perfectly healthy. He didn't have a cavity in his head. His gums were pink and wonderful. But when we looked under the microscope, he didn't have any crawlies. When he spit in a tube, it didn't turn purple. Believe me, it's an infection that goes from person to person to person. DNA testing shows it's coming from the mother or a grandmother or the caregiver to the child at about age 2. So it's a germ. It's transferred from the people that care for the child. All the germs in the baby's body come from mother. So, but if there happen to be a bad one in the mix, you can very simply get rid of it. You don't need it. It's not a valuable bug. Kill it. So it's gone.
What about fluoridated water then? If our community has it, how do we protect ourselves? Can filters take care of it? Do we have to resort to bottled, distilled water? What sort of options do people have?
The options are very few. The trouble is that fluoride, as I mentioned earlier, if you have it in your mouth, it goes up in your bloodstream. If you take a shower in fluoridated water, it goes up in your bloodstream. So if you have a community that is adding this terrible poison to the water supply, that you either have to abandon your community and go out to the country and find a house that's on a well, or move to another country like Mexico or Japan, or that doesn't put it in the water supply, Germany, France, Holland, one of the myriad of countries that don't allow it in the water supply. Or you can do what I'm telling people to do. Like me on Facebook, go to work and save your country. Because the problem is, industry is making billions of dollars off of this, and until enough of us stand up and say, stop it, they're going to keep doing it. It's making them money. So if we stand up and make them stop, they can find some other way to make money. Maybe do something valuable for our society rather than disposing of hazardous waste in our water supply. You got to work on it. It's democracy. There are more of us than there are of them. And so put your shoulder to the wheel and we will turn this around.
I know there's communities that do debate this to whether or not to fluoridate. Do we know what percentage of the United States is fluoridated?
It's over 75%, and
Okay.
it's all the big cities. California was one of the least fluoridated states up until 1995, and it was a market. Why was California least fluoridated? Because over 100 times the citizens of California have gone to the polls and said, not in my water. So Cargill and all the people that have the product to get rid of, American Dental Association, California Dental Association, went around Sacramento and passed out a few $100,000. They gave Pete Wilson $100,000 to sign the bill, governor. He comes from a city that has a law against it. That doesn't keep him from signing that. And so by buying legislatures at the state level, several states like Kentucky and California have mandatory fluoridation bill. Kentucky's had one of the oldest ones. You know what state in the union has the most number of people with the fewest number of teeth? That would be Kentucky. So the citizens have already spoken. They're buying billions and billions of dollars of bottled water a year, but you can't take a bath in it. What if you wanted to take a jacuzzi? What if you want to go swimming, work out at the gym? What if you're going to go in a sauna? You're going to get water, your body exposed to water some way or another. So we need to have water that's pure, and that's not what you get out of the tap. And that if they're trucking the stuff in from Florida or shipping it in from China, you definitely don't want to take a bath in it.